shining son of Lycaon made a choice. Take up the reins yourself, Aeneas, do. They're your team. They'll hold your curving chariot so much better under the driver they know best if we have to beat retreat from Diomedes. God forbid they panic, skittish with fear. Buck can never pull us out of the fighting, missing your own voice as Tydeus' son attacks. He'll kill us both and drive them off as prizes. So, drive them yourself, your chariot and your team, and let him charge. I'll take him on with a sharp spear. Both men agreed, boarded the blazoned chariot, wildly heading their racers at Diomedes now. Capaneus' good son, Sthenelus, saw them coming, and quickly alerted Diomedes, warnings flying. Tydeus, joy of my heart, dear, come and look. I see two men, and they're bearing down to fight you. Their power's enormous. One's a master archer, Pandarus, son of Lycaon, so he boasts. The other, Aeneas, claims Anchises' blood. The noble Anchises, you're his mother's Aphrodite. Come, up you go in our chariot. Give ground now. No charge in the front ranks. You might lose your life. But powerful Diomedes froze him with a glance. Not a word of retreat. You'll never persuade me. It's not my nature to shrink from battle, cringe in fear with the fighting strength still steady in my chest. I shrink from mounting our chariot. No retreat, on foot as I am. I'll meet them man to man. Athena will never let me flinch. Those two? Their horses will never sweep them clear of us. Nor both men, though one or the other may escape. One more thing, take it to heart, I tell you. If part of Athena's plan gives me the honor to kill them both, you check our racers here. You lash them fast to our rails, then dash for Aeneas' horses. Don't forget, drive them out of the Trojan lines and into ours. They are the very strain far-seeing Zeus gave Tros. Payment in full for stealing Ganymede, Tros' son. The purest, strongest breed of all the stallions under the dawn and light of day. Lord Anchises stole from that fine stock behind Laomedon's back. Tros' grandson and heir to Tros' teams. He put some mares to the lusty stallions once, and they foaled him a run of 6 in his royal house. 4 he kept for himself to rear in his own stalls. But the 2 you see in action he gave Aeneas, both of them driving terrors. Would God we'd take them both. We'd win ourselves great fame. Wavering back and forth as their 2 attackers closed in a rush, whipping their purebred team along, Pandarus shouted first. What mad bravado, lofty Tydeus' boy will brave it out. So my arrow failed to bring you down, my tearing shot. Now for a spear, we'll see if this can kill you. Shaft poised, he hurled, and its long shadow flew, and it struck Tydeus' shield, the brazen spearhead winging, drilling right on through to his breastplate. Pandarus yelling over him wildly now. You're hit, clean through the side. You won't last long, I'd say. Now the glory's mine. Never shaken, staunch Diomedes shot back. No hit. You missed. But the 2 of you will never quit this fight. I'd say till one of you drops and dies and gluts with blood. Ares, who hacks at men behind his rawhide shield. With that, he hurled, and Athena drove the shaft, and it split the archer's nose between the eyes. It cracked his glistening teeth. The tough bronze cut off his tongue at the roots, smashed his jaw, and the point came ripping out beneath his chin. He pitched from his car, armor clanging against him, a glimmering blaze of metal dazzling round his back. The purebreds reared aside, hoofs pawing the air, and his life and power slipped away on the wind. Aeneas sprang down with his shield and his heavy spear, fearing the Argives might just drag away the corpse somehow, somewhere. Aeneas straddled the body, proud in his fighting power like some lion, shielded the corpse with spear and round buckler, burning to kill off any man who met him face to face, and he loosed a blood-curdling cry, just as Diomedes hefted a boulder in his hands. Tremendous feat! No 2 men could hoist it, weak as men are now, but all on his own. He raised it high with ease, and he flung it, struck Aeneas' thigh, where the hip bone turns inside the pelvis, the joint they call the cup. Now it smashed the socket, snapped both tendons too, and the jagged rock tore back the skin in shreds. The great fighter sank to his knees, bracing himself with one strong forearm planted against the earth, and the world went black as night before his eyes. And now, the prince of men, Aeneas, would have died on the spot if Zeus's daughter had not marked him quickly. His mother, Aphrodite, who bore him to King Anchises, tending cattle once. Round her beloved son, her glistening arms went streaming. Flinging her shining robe before him, only a fold, but it blocked the weapons hurling toward his body. She feared some Argive, fast with chariot team, might hurl bronze in his chest, rip his life out. She began to bear her dear son from the fighting. But Capaneus' son did not forget the commands the Lord of the war cry put on him under. Sthenelus checked his own racers clear of the crash of battle, lashed them tight to his chariot rails with reins, and died for Aeneas' glossy, full-maned team, and drove them out of the Trojan lines and into his. He passed them on to Deipylus, a friend in arms. He prized beyond all comrades his own age. Their minds worked as one to drive the ships as Sthenelus mounted behind his own chariot now, seized the glittering reins and whipped his team. His strong-hoofed horses ahead at breakneck speed, rearing, plunging to overtake his captain, Diomedes. But he, with his ruthless bronze, was hunting Aphrodite. Diomedes, knowing her for the coward goddess she is, none of the mighty gods who marshal men to battle, neither Athena nor Enyo, raider of cities, not at all. But once he caught her, stalking her through the onslaught, gallant Tydeus' offspring rushed her, and lunging out, thrusting his sharp spear at her soft, limp wrist, and the brazen point went slashing through her flesh, tearing straight through the fresh immortal robes the Graces themselves had made her with their labor. He gouged her just where the wrist bone joins the palm, and immortal blood came flowing out from the goddess. The ichor that courses through their veins. The blessed gods, they eat no bread, they drink no shining wine, and so the gods are bloodless. So we call them deathless. Well, a piercing shriek. She reeled, and she dropped her son. But Phoebus Apollo plucked him up in his hands and swathed him round in a swirling dark mist. The fearsome Argive, fast with chariot team, might hurl bronze in his chest and rip his life out. But Diomedes shouted after her, shattering war cries. Daughter of Zeus, give up the war, your lust for carnage. So it's not enough that you lure defenseless women to their ruin. Haunting the fighting, are you? Now I think you'll cringe at the hint of war if you get wind of battle far away. So he mocked, and the goddess fled the front, beside herself with pain. But Iris, quick as wind, took up her hand and led her from the fighting, racked with agony, her glowing flesh blood dark. And off to the left of battle she discovered violent Ares sitting there at ease, his long spear braced on a cloud bank, flanked by racing stallions. Aphrodite fell to her knees and over begged her dear brother to lend his golden bridal team. Oh, dear brother, help me! Give me your horses so I can reach Olympus, the god's steep stronghold. I'm wounded. The pain's too much. A mortal speared me. That daredevil Diomedes, he'd fight Father Zeus. Her brother Ares gave her the golden bridal team. Heart writhing in pain, she climbed aboard the car, and Iris climbed beside her, seized the reins, whipped the team to a run, and all the horses flew, holding nothing back. In a moment they had reached the immortal stronghold, steep Olympus. Wind-quick Iris curved the team and loosened them from the chariot, threw ambrosial fodder down before their hoofs. The deathless Aphrodite sank in Dion's lap, and her mother, folding her daughter in her arms, stroked her gently, whispering her name, and asked her, Oh, who has abused you? My dear child, tell me, who of the sons of heaven, so unfeeling, so cruel? Why, it's as if they had caught you in public doing something wrong. And Aphrodite, who loves eternal laughter, sobbed in answer, The son of Tydeus stabbed me, Diomedes.
Diomedes, the overweening, insolent. All because I was bearing off my son from the fighting. Aeneas, dearest to me of all men alive, look down. It's no longer ghastly war for Troy and the Chian. I tell you, the Argives, they fight the gods.
Dione, the light and loveliest of immortals, tried to calm her. Patience, my child.
Bear up now, despite your heart-sick grief. How many gods who hold the halls of Olympus have had to endure such wounds from mortal men? Whenever we try to cause each other pain,
Ares had to endure it when giant Ephialtes and Otus, sons of Aloeus, bound him in chains he could not burst, thrust him up in a brazen cauldron 13 months. And despite the gods' undying lust for battle, Ares might have wasted away there on the spot if the monster's stepmother, beautiful Eobia, had not sent for Hermes, and out of the cauldron Hermes stole him away, the war god breathing his last, all but broken down by the ruthless iron chains. And Hera endured it too, that time Amphitrion's son, mighty Heracles, hit her deep in the right breast with a 3-barbed shaft, and pain seized her. Nothing calmed the pain. Even tremendous Hades had to endure that flying shaft like all the rest, when the same man, the son of thunder-shielded Zeus, shot him in Pylos. There with the troops of battle dead and surrendered death to pain. But Hades made his way to craggy Olympus, climbed to the house of Zeus, stabbed with agony, grief struck to the heart, and shaft driven into his massive shoulder, grinding down his spirit. But the healer applied his pain-killing drugs and sealed Hades' wound. He was not born to die. Think of that breakneck Heracles, this violent dwarf, not a care in the world for all the wrongs he'd done. He and his arrows raking the gods who hold Olympus. But the man who attacked you? Oh, that great goddess, fiery-eyed Athena, set him on. That fool. Doesn't the son of Tydeus know, down deep, the man who fights the gods does not live long? Nor do his children ride his knees with cries of father, home at last from the wars and heat of battle. So now, let Diomedes, powerful as he is, be on his guard, for fear a better soldier than you engage him. For fear his wife, Aegialia, Adrastus' daughter, for all her self-control, will wail through the nights and wake her beloved servants out of sleep, the gallant wife in tears, longing for him, her wedded husband, the best of the Achaeans, Diomedes, breaker of horses. Soothing words. And with both her hands, Dione gently wiped the ichor from Aphrodite's arm and wrist, and it healed at once, her stark pain ebbed away.